but we need more.
Okay, so let me do this. For somebody watching us right now,
Yes,
an individual or a philanthropist, how much does this one cost?
This
set
set
we have.
about this 200, 250 cedis.
200 and let's say 250 cedis for a chair set. So they can be there until we want to buy one
chair set. Yes.
So if we get 200 people donating 250 cedis, we can get 200 chairs bought to spread it in the prisons.
Yes, please.
Very, very
That's Ghana cedis, 250 cedis.
Yes, please.
We can get this.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Yes.
So corporate Ghana, individuals, churches, everybody, yes, we do donations here and there. Yes, sometimes it's good, but these are things that can last longer. So we want to appeal if you can come on board this project. 250 cedis can buy us one, and then we give it to them for them to play, and then no feel bored. You see, the devil will always find a work for the ideal mind. We are being told every day. So if they know how to play this one, and then their moves and everything are done, you can help. I know you are an elder in the church. I know you are a business partner. 250 cedis. I know it's your lunch money or breakfast something, but that one can also put a smile on somebody's face and help change something. So please, I'll ask them to give us their contact and location to where you can get them on social media, so you can also help fund this thing. As for food, they can get, but we need more chairs boards to do this. So, Paul, back to you, because so 250 cedis you can get this.
Yes, please.
And so currently you've given 10.
Yes, 10 to the male ward, and then for the female session, we give them about 7.
Okay.
But the thing is that we need more, because anytime we go there to go and teach the chess to them, they say that, okay, we don't get enough balls to play among ourselves. So a game, when you're playing a chess game, it can last probably maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. So do you want to wait until...
So there will be queue.
Yes, there's always queue. And so we need more chess, but with the male session, we want to even send it to the special block.
Okay. There's a special block, right?
Yes. I'm not sure if I'm able to.
Okay, no problem. But
yes.
Okay.
So
you go there, when you enter, you go to room, you see what room do.
Yes.
So till you get there, you don't know. So so there are places there that meet it.
Yes. So even with this 10 balls that we gave to the male session, it's not enough.
Okay.
It's not enough because we have more who want to learn how to play.
Okay.
And the game is such in a way that if you play more, then now you start thinking
so it's addictive.
Better. Yes.
It's addictive.
Yes. But
well, for me, I would use the word addictive.
Yes. But
because you will not have to stop playing. You always want to improve.
Yes. You always want to. So it's a game that when you fall in love with, you didn't want.
That's why you call it the game for life.
Yes. It's a beautiful game. You just fall in love with it. I just feel addicted is a very strong word.
So okay. You won't be addicted to it, but you fall in love with it,
yes.
And you marry it to life. So you play and be transferring it to your children and your grandchildren.
That's right.
So on social media, where are you guys that somebody will just send a message? Okay, we want to just provide 250 cedis for you guys to purchase one. Go and give it to somebody, help them.
Wonderful.
Where on social media can they get you guys?
On social media, our social media handle is at Mentors Chess.
At
Mentors Chess.
Okay.
And we are active.
Do you have contacts and things on it that?
That's right. We do have. We are active on Facebook, and I think Instagram as well. But the main contact for donation is MTN Momo number.
Okay, give it. Can you give it?
0544.
Okay.
3040.
Okay, let's go again.
0544 3040.
Okay, so
and to reach us, our main contact line is 0266 752 758.
0266
752 758.
758. They can just reach you guys, and then we can do something. So
exactly. Maybe just to add about the need for the chess sets, it's not even just for the inmates when they are there. We've had a number of them requesting for personal sets when they are leaving, and that's something very important thing also to do. So that they don't
take away something that
yes, and it's very difficult to deny an inmate who is leaving a chair set. So even at we've already given some to someone who is leaving. We give as for the correctional center, we give to almost everybody who is leaving. They leave very, very early. They don't spend more than maximum sentence is like 3 years at the senior correctional center. So most of the guys there, we have like 6 living just within the past when we had the tournament till now. 6 have already left. They live like on a monthly basis. So anyone who is leaving takes a chessboard away.
Wow.
For them to continue playing, not to get them back you know, on the street to reoffend. So they can even start, some of them have started chess clubs where they are.
Wow.
And it's keeping them very, very busy. So it goes beyond just even within the cells of the walls of the prison.
So
we need a lot more sets for those.
we need a lot
outside.
more sets, and all my friends who work at the banks, please, we are appealing to you that you can, as part of your CSIR, just 250 cedis to buy one chessboard. You can gather the senior staff, the junior staff to do this, and just come. Yes,
Yeah.
I know you can bring rice. I know you can bring the oils and stuff like that. But please, let's add this one to it. It's just
Yes,
250
yes.
cedis as it stands now. Maybe to reduce, or maybe, but it will not even get to 300 cedis. And I know 300 cedis is huge enough, but not too big beyond your abilities to help. So please, let's come on board and support this project. If everybody can get, we can raise 10,000 chess pots. 250 cedis, we can do it,
And
then we'll do it.
maybe I can say that with the numbers, we can even get a grade which is even lower than the 250 without the
Okay.
bag and everything. That can be like
Okay.
150 cedis.
Great. So
And that is
please
also
just
very
contact
possible.
them. Just go on social media, look for Mentors
Any-
Chess Academy, and just link up, and then let's see how we can do it. We can all help do this. But sincerely, away from this, we've started a new year. The chess fraternity, what really is the big deal that is coming? What's up your
Good,
sleeve? for
good
2026?
question. For us, aside what we do in the prison, we also run chess club in schools.
Okay.
And so we organize quarterly chess tournaments to make sure our students we are teaching are able to get a chance to test their skills against other schools here and there. So we'll be having that very soon. Also need some support on board from corporate Ghana if they want.
So which
It'll be
schools
good.
do you go to? Let's say you've segmented. There are so many schools.
There are a number of schools. We have a school in Kumasi, we have some in Accra,
Okay.
from GIS, Ryan, Rich, a number of schools. I may not be able to mention all the schools' names. Yeah, we do-
But there are schools that don't really have chess clubs.
Yes,
Do
and
you intend going there?
we intend going there. We've had, if we have 2 schools, will be starting this particular month, new
Okay.
schools. So we are open. If you want to also start a chess club in your school, we'll be available to help you to start that. And we have a team of dedicated instructors who will be able to come work with you on a schedule that works best for the school, and we can come in to
Great,
teach.
great.
Yes.
So,
They-
away from what you do, Mentors Chess Academy, going to schools, spread the gospel of chess here and there, the Ghana Chess Association.
That's right.
There,
That's right.
there is going, I hear 2026, you guys will be going to the polls to do stuff. Are you
Yes.
aware of, as the day been announced, date been announced, where exactly are you going? Because this year
Very-
is seriously an action year.
Exactly,
Seriously. So many
exactly,
activities.
exactly. And I like the introduction you gave. You know, when you highlighted that some past about 4 years ago,
Yes.
there was a story about a young boy
Yes.
who did very well in the chess
Yes.
chess game in Ghana, conquered Africa. And I think one thing that most people don't even know, that the following year after that success, about 5 Ghanaians also traveled to Kenya to play in a continental championship, and they all came back with medals.
Wow.
You know, winning about 3 gold and 2 silvers or so. So we have a great potential here in Ghana. There's so much potential here in Ghana that if leadership is focused on, we can become a very big powerhouse in Africa.
Okay.
Unlike other disciplines which requires a lot of resources. For instance, we don't know whether we'll be a powerhouse when it comes to football yet in Ghana, in Africa, not to mention the others, but it requires a lot more investment for you to become top. You can't compete with the richer African countries like South Africa, Egypt, and the rest. They will definitely outplay when it comes to this. But this is something that is very low cost. You can have a small classroom and train grandmasters, you know, from scratch, and they'll do very well for the country. So it has a lot of potential that I believe we are not harnessing as a country,
Okay.
and we're looking forward to change that narrative in the coming years. I'll be contesting for president
Oh,
in the Ghana
so
Chess Association.
announce it officially here for me.
Oh, David Achan, will contest for president.
You are contesting for president. Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
So
I think
let me say
sometimes we have-
congratulations in advance.
Thank you very much.
You want to
Yeah.
sacrifice, okay?
Yes, we want to sacrifice. And I think we've left this role for people we believe are not really focused on the game when
Okay.
it comes to development of the sports in Ghana. We find chess only in parts of the country, just in Accra and parts of Kumasi.
Okay.
And these are all individual effort. There's no, let me say, national strategy to grow the game in Ghana, and that is not helping. We also find that we also begin engaging the NSA to make sure we get things right, because for some years now, we've noticed that it's been more like people within the NSA who take over some of these roles in these lesser known sports. You find people who are, let's say, executives in one sport, one, two, three disciplines in the NSA, which is something we are trying to engage the NSA. And I believe that leadership there now is very forward looking. We can get that correct. So you find people who are, let's say, in Scrabble, in volleyball, in chess, and they are taking key positions, and they are not really dedicated to any of the sports.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we have people who really love the game chess, to take over chess, to handle chess, to grow the game chess, people who have leadership, experience developing chess in the grassroots to make sure we get this thing done across the country. So we'll be doing a lot of engagement with the NSA Sports Ministry going forward. And it's something that we are very passionate about this year, to make sure that we have the right people in place who can help develop the sport.
You believe strongly that if Congress decides to believe in your vision and work, we are going to see chess being played in every nook and cranny in this country. We have 16 administrative regions in Ghana.
Yes.
You believe that within how many years does the president last for chess? 4, 5?
It's 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
So you believe that if 2026 you are given that node, before your 4-year time comes, there will be chess visibility in the north, south,
every region,
east,
in every
and
region.
west.
In fact, the fact that we're able to take chess to the prison is a testament that we can do this very, very simply. Because there are schools everywhere in the country, isn't it? And this is it's an educational tool as well. So if once the commitment is there, the passion is there, this is something that's very easy to do.
Are we playing currently? Are we playing chess at the Guza Games?
I think it came up recently. The recent one, it was played. It was
So,
played recently.
so at the university level, there's chess.
There's chess.
Okay. So meaning that from grassroots, it can shoot to the top. So you mean we can get chess being a talk about events like the way we talk about table tennis, football, volley, we can get chess to get to that level. And you believe that the 4 years you can work that talk. Ghana is watching, Africa is watching.
That is something that we are committed to do. Like I said, this is a very low cost tool compared to football, compared to volleyball. You need a pitch to be able to do this. It has been done. How much more a very simple tool that can cost 150, 250 cedis to be in every region? That doesn't even need a whole room. It's just a table and 2 people seated to do. It's something that we can easily do. We can work with the Ghana Education Service, and that alone can take it to every nook and cranny in the country. And that's something we are committed to do when we get a chance to serve.
That's your sports pay?
The chess?
Yes, that's chess pay.
I would say in Ghana, not very much, but you still can make something out of it if you are committed. What we do now is mainly from the proceeds of what we get from the other schools that we take to the prison to work.
I asked because for 4 years, if they give you the node, you are going to sacrifice your resources, your time, your networks to do this.
Yes.
Your network and your time and everything isn't enough to really help put this dream in reality, because at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that you say, okay, when we do this, this is how much, going to play a World Cup and you know that the winner is going to get this X amount of money, so you can even go for a loan and then go and play the World Cup, balance it and still get profit.
Like I indicated from the beginning, it's more of a passion and then a belief to live for something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
So for me, it's not just about winning maybe medals or winning gold and we're getting money. It's about the lives we are imparting with this beautiful game of chess. Okay. And I also believe in partnerships. I believe in having a strong network of partnerships. And you cannot do a lot of things on your own. So many things in life you can't do on your own. At this level, you need partners on board to get things done. And there are partners everywhere that you can, once you sell a good idea to, they're willing to come on board to help you to scale it up. So it is very, very possible. And it's about also prioritizing.
Yes.
I am a very busy professional. I don't do this full time. Most people don't know. People see me as a chess man, but I'm very, very busy doing other things as well. But I'm able to still get time to get chess everywhere. In fact, we were the first chess academy in Ghana. Somewhere 2010, we started chess in Ghana. There was nobody teaching chess in any school when we started. And this has remained from that time till now. Most people try and start, it fizzles out, it doesn't work. But we've been doing this since 2010 in Kumasi, ICS, all over till now. and it shows the quality, the grassroots ability to deal with people. All these are very key components when you want to move.
Okay. So what's the theme of your campaign?
We want to
Day
organize
for presidency.
that can just be,
Chat.
but I think we want to have organized structures,
Okay.
you know, and that's one thing that we don't have at all. And then a strategy to grow the game in Ghana. We don't have any structure when it
So,
comes to Ghana Chess.
Ghana
We want
Chess
to
Fraternity, and this is Dave,
yes.
David. He says what? He wants to come and then serve. I mean, when you come here, that's what. He
Thank
wants
you.
to come and serve. So please, when he gets closer to you, ask him all the questions you need to ask him. So you'll be aware that this leader I'm giving him to, or this man I want him to lead Ghana Chess, I
Yes.
want results. At the end of the day, he promised ABCD.
That's right.
Can it be done? Can it be achieved? Medium, long term, in the next 4 years, how do you want to see your chess in Ghana grow? Chess in Ghana grow in Africa, chess in Ghana grow in the world. How do you want to see it? So Dave and his team will be coming around. But what time is the elections? When are you? Have you guys fixed the date?
It's slated for February.
Okay. So whilst you are doing the Valentine and things, then you'll be thinking about chess.
Yes.
So we'll play Valentine chess after that and we'll do it. So guys, we're checking out from the studio. Time is running fast. Our time is up.
Thank
So
you. Thank
Paul,
you very
Paul,
much.
let me start from you. Are in the Bible, you wrote plenty books, and at the end, you did so many
Yes,
things.
yes,
So
please.
what are you telling Ghanaians about this prison initiative? 2026, what should they look out for when it comes to the issues about chess?
Good. So thank you for the question. I want Ghanaians to know that this game, it's very, very important, okay, in our society. In Russia, every kid there knows how to play chess.
That's your research.
Yes,
Research tells you that
Yes.
every Russian kid
yes.
can play
It's
chess.
trained to play chess
Okay.
from the
In fact,
beginning.
Apart from Russia, not to cut you, there are countries like Armenia, Israel, a lot of countries.
Okay.
It's part of the curriculum.
Oh, okay.
Even Kenya and Gambia, I think they just added to their curriculum. So every school is going to learn. Every government school is learning compulsory. We are
Okay.
learning chess.
Okay.
Yes.
And with this game, they're going to change lives in our society.
Okay.
Yes, because I believe it has done a lot in other countries. And it also done a lot for me, myself. It has also changed me and my perception about life. So I want us to try and then support this initiative. Going forward this year, we'll be doing more programs in the prisons, and then we'll ask corporate bodies, sponsorship, individuals who want to come and support this great initiative.
To do it.
And
Okay.
yes, to do it.
So, thank you very much, Dave. David, you're also in the Bible. You killed Goliath
That's right.
with a
That's
stone
right.
because
That's
you were
right.
calculating. So many the David then was playing chess because he was focused. He knew
He
what-
was very, very focused.
yes, and he knew how to
Uh,
target, how
yes,
to do.
yes, I believe
So he didn't
that
do any wrong
with-
move. Other than that, like Goliath could have killed him.
Exactly. Then he had another powerful anointing back him, so he will add that. Yes. So for me, I think my last word would be that chess is a very low cost tool, and it's more than a game.
Okay.
It's a powerful tool that can be used as an educational tool, sports as well, even a health tool. We've seen other countries use chess to manage people with cancer. On the low key, we also do something here in Ghana, which we call the Chess Infinite Projects, where we teach chess with autism children.
Okay.
to
We'll
help
get time
them.
to come and explore it.
We'll
Yes,
talk
we'll
about
come
that.
in.
So I'm yet to do a nice story and write up about it for
Okay.
us to know what's going on. But we've been doing it for like almost a year now,
Okay.
where we use chess in autism to help them to be, socially improve their social skills. And that is what chess is all about. And it doesn't cost much to promote such a game.
Great.
So we're calling on all philanthropists, individuals, churches, organizations to come on board, companies to come on board to support this game across the country, help it to transform many, many lives.
Okay.
Thank you
So
very much.
thank you very much. So that's been David Champon, CEO, founder, initiator of Mentors Chess Academy. And then Paul is a lead, he's a FIDE instructor. So he has been teaching. So if, like me, I don't know how to play chess, like you that you know how to play chess, come.
That's right.
So that he
That's
will
right.
polish you small.
Yes.
He will polish
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
it's just like the Adiye shoe shine. He will polish you small. Guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much
Wish you
for
guys all the
having us.
best. And then I'm praying that after this show, you receive more calls.
Yes.
That, we want to really support. Children should even come and say, I want to donate my lunch money, which is more than 250 CDs,
Yes.
for you guys to buy a chessboard and tell me that you bought it. gone there to really
Yes,
support.
and one last thing, there's not just the money we need. You mentioned oil and rice. We
Yes.
also need that too.
Okay.
Because when we go there,
So
usually you don't go without anything.
So that the trophies you give them, you use it as food and
It's
stuff like
very,
that.
very
and
important.
very, very
Without food,
Yes.
the attention is...
And remember that they will not even stay only in Sowan prison. All the other prisons, they'll be getting there one after the other. So they need more chess boards to really do this. Thank you very much once again, and wish you a prosperous new year. We'll come back again and do more about your elections and stuff like that. But Ghanaians, that's it. So today, the focus has been on chess and what chess is really doing behind bars. You understand when you get there the importance of your freedom now and why you should guard it. So learn how to play the chess so that you can be focused. You don't blame anybody for even lose talk. You understand why your freedom needs to be guarded. Thank you, gentlemen, and we wish you guys all the best. The page you tell same time tomorrow. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank
You
you.
guys are great.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born, our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
What remains of them today? What stories can we tell about them? Of all those destinies during the Holocaust, the only thing that remains are their instruments.
This is a remembrance from the past, from the parents or grandparents and from their history, and it's a different way of memory.
This is the story of the Weinstein family and how they took care of these instruments. They showed that the Nazi regime did not succeed in destroying all traces of Jewish life and music. Getting these instruments to sing again was no easy task. Many were not played for decades. Musicians from the Rundfunk Sinfonie Orchestra Berlin are rehearsing with instruments that once belonged to Jewish musicians. They come from the collection of the Weinstein family. Avshalom Weinstein is the custodian.
All the instruments which are going to be played are from the collections of Violins of Hope. Some of these instruments were in concentration camps, ghettos, or belong to Jewish people and also to non-Jewish people who survived the war, and some of them unfortunately didn't. And it's going to be the first time that so many of the instruments from the collection are going to be played on one stage.
Avshalom Weinstein has brought 55 instruments to Berlin, most of them violins, instruments that he and his family gathered together over decades. His wife will also play one of the violins.
It's always very sad, but also very combining feeling for me. Like, it makes me feel I'm a part of the family as well in another way.
Avshalom Weinstein accompanies the instruments whenever they travel the world to be played by various orchestras.
So this violin belonged to a lady named Joyce van der Veen. She was a child in the Netherlands, and she was hiding with her mother and her sister, and this is how they survived.
Joyce van der Veen was 13 when she was stopped by a passerby while returning home from a violin lesson. She was warned that Jews were being rounded up. She managed to escape.
She was also a ballerina, and when the war finished, she immigrated to United States.
A young Jewish girl called Anne Frank idolized the young ballerina. Frank successfully hid from the Nazis, but then was betrayed and arrested. She died at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in 1945. In the hideout where Frank wrote her famous diary, there was a photo of Joyce.
She never played the violin again after the war. She danced, she was a ballerina teacher, but she never ever played the violin. And her daughter had no idea what was the violin, what was the story.
This is how many of the violins entered the Weinstein family collection. Relatives brought them, or the friends of Holocaust victims. Many survivors wanted nothing that reminded them of Germany after the war. Others donated them in remembrance. Some were brought with photos of their owners, but not every previous owner is clear. Each instrument has its own origin story.
This is kind of a klezmer violin. These are very simple instruments which were made around 1900. You can see this Star of David. These are originally inlays. Now most of these instruments we don't know to whom they belonged, so we dedicate them to different people. And this one is dedicated to my great-grandparents who lived in Vilna and never came to Israel, and they were all killed with their kids. And only my grandfather and one of his brothers survived. All the rest with their families were killed in Vilna. My grandfather's religion was music. He loved music, and he knew that the musical instruments, they were not the ones to make all these horrifying, horrible things. And he didn't want to see them being deserted, broken, abandoned, and he bought whatever he could.
Avshalom's grandfather passed the business on to Avshalom's father, Amnon Weinstein. He continued buying and restoring the violins. The violins of hope, as he called them, became his life's work. He brought them back to Germany for the first time and arranged for German musicians to play them. Amnon Weinstein died in 2024.
It's never been planned to become what it is today, no. And my father spoke on a radio show, and he asked if people had instruments that belonged to Jewish people who were in the Holocaust, if they would like to give us, that we can put it as an exhibit and do concerts and lectures. And we started getting more and more instruments. The first lecture was 8 instruments, and then the first concert was, I think, 4 violins. And after that it started growing, and today we have 70 instruments traveling.
2025 is a special year. It is now 80 years since Nazi Germany was defeated. A time for the world to reflect on the beginnings of the horror. How could the Holocaust happen? In 1933, the Nazis seized power in Germany. The appointment of Adolf Hitler as German Chancellor marked the end of parliamentary democracy. In a very short time, everything changed. Through terror and semi-legal methods, the Nazis were able to push aside the rule of law and move towards dictatorship in a very short space of time. Everything was brought into line with Nazi ideology, pluralism destroyed. Thousands of Jewish artists lost their jobs. Their one option for a while was a Jewish-administered self-help organization. This cultural association organized concerts, readings, and Jewish cultural life. It was tolerated by the Nazis because it aided the control and isolation of the Jewish population. But pressure from outside grew ever stronger. The harassment of Jews increased. The November pogroms of 1938 were followed by the enforced closure of most institutions. Synagogues across the country were burned to the ground. The Nazis wanted to eradicate every trace of Jewish life, but they did not succeed. A German documentary from 2024 shows how the old songs are being sung again. The Zema Ensemble in Berlin is one group that is bringing the music to life again. The Nazis had tried to eradicate all traces. Descendants of Holocaust survivors around the world are now ensuring that the music is performed once again. Israeli composer Amit Vaina has been touring his program Music in Times of Tragedy internationally for 13 years.
Some of the songs are very simple, super simple songs written by amateur composers, and some are more elaborated and complicated pieces. How can it even be possible that people wrote music when they had nothing to eat? So I think that is the power of keep playing that music. And I think it's relevant during our times as well, to let people understand, I'm a musician myself, and to let people understand that to me, music is something that is more relevant during times of violence. It doesn't become less relevant. It's becoming more relevant because it gives people something to live for, it gives them meaning, it gives them hope.
Music and musical education were considered of great importance to many Jews in Germany and were an important part of their cultural identity. Many Jewish citizens were part of the educated elite. The idea that they would be in danger in their homeland was unimaginable for a long time. When they were deported, many took only their most valuable possessions with them. Violins were light. Larger instruments were too cumbersome. One reason why Avshalom Weinstein and his family have so many violins in their care today.
First of all, thank you very much. I know it's not easy to work and play on instruments which are not yours. In the camps, there were many orchestras. Because the Nazis wanted to have music, musicians, sometimes they had, let's say, easier works, maybe one more piece of bread, maybe a little bit better coat, and this could have meant survival.
Concentration camp survivor Anita Laska-Wallfisch experienced the horror firsthand. In a DW documentary, she tells the story of how she was deported to Auschwitz by the Nazis at the age of 18. Her musical education saved her. Her parents had made sure that she learned the cello as a child. She remembers how she became part of the girls' orchestra in the concentration camp.
I played cello. Ich habe Cello gespielt. Fantastisch. Fantastic, she said. There's an orchestra. Stay here. I was naked, with a toothbrush. That was a great kindness. She'd put a toothbrush in my hand and said, stay here and wait. She fetched the orchestra director, Alma Rosé.
Und hat die Kapellmeisterin von dieser Kapelle geholt. Und das war die Alma Rosé. Was schwer begeistert.
She was thrilled. Finally, she had a cello for the orchestra. There'd been a cellist, but she had died. I'd arrived just at the right moment.
Wir waren ungefähr 40.
We had about 40 instruments. Several violins, mandolins, one guitar, recorders, a cello.
We
We were mostly children, amateurs. You can't imagine what it was like. It wasn't an orchestra.
Es war kein Orchester.
And Alma, don't ask me how, she managed to make something out of it that was acceptable. If we'd been so terrible that it was unbearable, that would have been the end of us.
Ja, was wäre unser Ende gewesen?
There were orchestras in almost all concentration camps. In Auschwitz, it's believed there were at least 6. The Nazis were cruel. They had them play marches and even had them play music on the selection ramp. In the Lemberg-Janowska forced labor camp in German-occupied Poland, these musicians were killed in 1943. They were shot by their SS guards while they were playing music. In total, the Nazis murdered more than 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Cellist Anita Laska-Wallfisch survived. The Nazis did not manage to break her love of music. She was able to emigrate to Great Britain. She married the pianist Peter Wallfisch and co-founded an orchestra.
Life for me is divided in 2 parts: hell and ordinary life. The Nazis succeeded in destroying many things, but music? You can't destroy that. You can try, but it's impossible.
Unmöglich.
Anita Laska-Wallfisch was 19 when she was liberated from Auschwitz by the Allies. To this day, it remains her mission to warn future generations. The Rundfunk-Sinfonie Orchestra continues to rehearse for the concert commemorating the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. A study conducted by the Jewish Claims Conference in 2025 shows major gaps in young people's knowledge of the Holocaust. Even in Germany, 12% of 18 to 29-year-olds don't know what the Holocaust is. This at a time when the last surviving witnesses are dying, along with much of their knowledge. Avshalom Weinstein wants to keep the stories alive for future generations. He regularly takes the time to meet and speak to school children.
We don't have any sponsorship from any government, or I don't have a foundation that supports me. When we restore instruments, everything is on our cost. It's our time. But I think this is something important, so I keep on doing it.
I think these projects are very, very important, but it's also up to my generation to take greater interest in them. But I think it's good that there are people who make something of it. I don't think that it's always the right thing to hear long lectures about it, or to hear about it from people who aren't involved. That's why I'm also very happy to live in an age where, even if the contemporary witnesses are unfortunately slowly passing away, we still have recordings and interviews.
Avshalom Weinstein is aware of the importance of not forgetting, of talking about what happened from his own family experience. The trauma of the Holocaust also weighed heavily on his own childhood.
When I grew up hearing lots of stories of the Holocaust from my grandmother. There are 2 types of survivors: those who spoke about it and those who never said one word. Many people never said anything to their kids, to their grandkids, to anyone. They didn't talk about it at all. Others did talk about it, so we do have the records and everything, but my grandparents, my father's parents, never spoke about anything.
80 years on from the end of the war, there are still many stories to be told. These are stories of resistance. They show that the Nazis did not succeed in destroying everything Jewish.
Hass ist ganz einfach ein Gift und letzten Endes vergiftet man sich selbst.
These stories help ensure that future generations never forget the terrible crimes that were committed, and hopefully never let it happen again.
Music has a different way of telling history. I can tell you what I see. I see that it does move people who come to the concerts and lectures. It does touch the musicians who play them. So I hope it's a good thing.
The fear and oppression of the Nazi era continues to occupy artists. Ravensbrück Women's Concentration Camp near Berlin was the largest textile workshop for uniforms and prisoners' clothing. Now a French artist is bringing the forced labor conditions back to light.
French artist Dominique Hurt is putting the finishing touches on an exhibition about forced labor at the Ravensbrück Women's Concentration Camp. She's been collecting memories of everyday life from prisoners working within the biggest textile production line in any camp. Hurt installed original sewing machines into the rooms of an old textile workshop to give an idea of the conditions. Up to 5,000 women worked in 2 shifts to produce clothing for all concentration camp prisoners, as well as SS uniforms. Propaganda photos illustrate how well organised the system was. Dominique Hurt spent 8 years researching for the exhibition.
These are actual business reports, month by month, year by year, that tell us what was produced and how, what new buildings were built, how many prisoners were deployed, how many guards were employed, how much money was made. They made so much profit that at some point they no longer knew what to do with the money. And that's all in these reports. And in contrast to these very dry Nazi administrative documents, there is the prisoner's testimony.
The sewing machines represent more than just objects from the time.
Women were hit, bashed against them. For every button, seam, or thread that wasn't quite right, it was easy to just bash a woman's head against the machine. So it's not just a sewing machine from back then. It's something that speaks of the violence.
Long, heavy fabrics in military uniform colours hang from the ceiling. Dominique Hurt calls them material for memories. She wants to give the victims a voice.
There are anecdotes that say that lice were collected and sewn into the uniforms of the female guards, or that seams weren't properly sewn up, so that jackets destined for the SS on the front would fall apart as soon as they were put on. These are the better stories. It's really good to read about such moments.
Opposite the textile workshop is a permanent exhibition, which includes clothes that were made at the camp. Dominique Hurt wanted to explore their history and encounter it with artistic means. For the Memorial Centre, this is a welcome new approach to remembrance.
We can see that this strong focus on documents, on translating history into art and artistic language helps us a lot, especially in our efforts to communicate with our visitors. The longer history has passed, the more people are looking for ways to visualize things. So this is an immensely important project for us.
The textile workshop on the site is an original location and now also an exhibition venue. Dominique Hurt believes that as a French woman, she can offer a fresh and inquisitive perspective on Nazi history.
I think there's this idea that, of course, everything's already been done. Everything's been processed, and it's no longer so important, not so relevant. That's what I'm sensing very strongly here in this context. That means you don't really want to look at it anymore. You just want to stay the good student of dealing with the past, which, of course, I have to question.
This exhibition invites people to rediscover the history of the perpetrators and the stories of the victims.
The suffering of the victims is often still keenly felt by their descendants. As the daughter of Holocaust survivors, Israeli artist Bracha Lichtenberg-Ettinger had long resisted showing her work in Germany. Now she has her first exhibition in a German museum.
countless eyes demanding compassion and not to be forgotten. A motif that runs through Bracher Lichtenberg Ettinger's work. Women and children, moments before being murdered by the Nazis. The template is an archive photo. It's been a recurring theme for over 40 years.
I'm working with the question of trauma and also with the question that still burns in me. How is it possible that somebody can torture, kill, do violence to women and their children? You cannot change the facts and not even the imprints, but you can change and do transformation of what you make of it.
One picture can take years to complete. Layer by layer, she dabs ash, ink, and pigments onto the pictures.
So it's like a vaporization. They are hovering over the paper and you can do, and it will disappear. So with every move of the brush or the finger, I erase and I build at the same time.
Bracher Lichtenberg Ettinger, born in Tel Aviv in 1948, is a descendant of Holocaust victims. Her parents, who also appear in the pictures, were able to flee to Palestine in time, but almost the entire family was murdered by the Nazis.
I think I would not have survived this kind of childhood without painting and drawing. This was my language. Apparently, I hardly spoke as a child, or spoke very late.
Together with the curator, she is making the final preparations for an exhibition at K21 in Dusseldorf. The artist is a psychoanalyst and peace activist. Both activities flow into her work. Her notebooks are like a mobile atelier, a kind of diary, which also addresses current events. Here, she has written, "Stop bombing Gaza."
I hope that we can work it out, but it probably will take time. I mean, you hurt somebody else, you hurt yourself, you hurt yourself, you hurt the other. We will live there or we will destroy there. And the question is always how to come together and build something.
A poignant exhibition all about hope and reconciliation.
That's all from Arts Unveiled for now. Until next time.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born. Our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
The Bono East Regional Minister, Mr. Kwesi Adujan, has appealed to investors to exploit the untapped tourism potentials in the region. On a working visit to some underdeveloped tourist sites in the region, Mr. Adujan said private sector involvement is key to making Ghana a preferred tourist destination. The minister says government is focused on creating an enabling environment for investors. Players in the Bono East region have described the area's tourism industry as promising and showing great potential growth. The Kintampo waterfalls alone attracted more than 23,806 visitors in 2019, with majority being expatriates. Apart from the famous Kintampo waterfalls, there are other potential tourist sites, namely Kunsu Slave Caves, Kunsu Waterfalls in the Kintampo North Municipality, Bonomanso Waterfalls, and Bonomanso Vessel in the Nkranza North District. Most of these tourist attractions, unfortunately, remain unknown and underdeveloped, despite their numerous economic benefits to the national treasury. Slave raiders such as Babatu and Samori transported slaves from Salaga to Kunsu Slave Caves before sending them to the Cape Coast and Elmina castles. This particular spot served as a warehouse for the slave raiders. They say the warehouse had the capacity to accommodate over 1,000 slaves. Mr. Fakasa Kodie is the Kunsu Slave Caves tour guide.
Where we are now, we are in a slave camp. The Hana, ye campo, or moi, yakwa, nkwa ya to moi. Ye do mo baby chakwan e free ha akọ mpoano na fi ye de mfidi a friend ship afọ mo akọ abruchi no aha na ye de wo mbegu ete se etete nso so ana akọ ho no so eno so etimi de ye ma ne mmofra no so eba ha de de omba aha no mbetena eje wo mo ahome ye bibia aha betimi afa nipa be ye 1000 apem ni akiri nti mi twa ni tia ne mekan se aha ena nkwa na yeto mo no yedu ombigu ni ayanto no yedu omo san kodwanum ni yakwa akoto mo ni ayebeto no nzo so eduru ho se yedu omo kwa yaba bi yi omo afiri ha na yedu omo ko aha ye wo nzo so yetimi chemienu e oba bi yede magu e oba bi amema nso so tena na ni nyina nso wa akira ye oba bi mmofra na nkasa so betimi atena zanze ba bi wo ho a wo be foro soro abofra ndimi mforo nti ho na yede mrante ne omo ho odin no nso so kogu nti ha na ye campo ana ye be kan say yedi nkwa na ya to mo no ebeja ahankasa ha na omu fie kese a omotena ejo omo ahome edi agoro ye wo ba bia ye to ware ho natural ana say be kan say ne nyankopon ankasa aye afi nso so ohwe ho a wo behu say ohene mpaboa eye chacha o efre na ahene ma no so ebi nso so enan da ho ena nipa na ankasa nso so edidadeda ho a kire say eye ade nyankopon na ahyehye edi ama odipa eye nhwehwe bia aba beda kunsu ha se yegina so yi ye sere se mo abayi de mo momodin na enimu na afi so yenya bibi emfirim.
This is where the weak or aged slaves were also accommodated.
The ana de say premier asano ndina meka se timfa ni nipa be 50 on se bi no so be sha na ye do mu kogu ho a ye sanso timi chemma bi mu so wura ha na ha na ye wura no security no se opese ohun se bibia ebe ni ha omo a ha no no papa betena sanse ya ye mpa ebo na wi a bo na kata no ha ne de security no ha no no to wura mu ndi ono fa no wura ha wo di akire no hu se kwan bi kura da ha we ba nso no ono kọ ba bia emma ne mofra ne nkokorafo no gu nti I ni asa.
The back of this tree, popularly known as Chenchen in the Akan language, was used to preserve dead bodies of slaves. This rock, after some rituals and sacrifices performed by the priest of the slave raiders, is said to have moved by itself to cover the entrance of the cave. This also served as the executive lounge for the slave raiders.
Where we are now, that is a cave where the buyers, those who buy the slaves after the marketing, they come to lodge. Where we clamped, that is where the executives have been lodging. We have a security there, we have a security lounge, we have a place where they fetch their water. The executives do also come and lodge here. And they have their security. Whatever happens, when they need a message or information from where they've kept the slaves, they have to send the security going up and down, because during those days, we don't have means, we don't have mobile phone, whatever. So he has to walk from here to that place, pick information, and then bring it to the executives. So this is executives' lunch.
Residents in Kunsu believe tourism can create jobs for local communities where tourist sites are located to redistribute wealth and income that will promote national unity and cohesion, leading to economic development. Also, the Kunsu waterfalls are very unique with a big pool that is yet to be developed. The height of the waterfalls is about 5 meters with 3 steps. This vessel is also located at Bonomanso, an ancient town in the Nkranza North district. Leadership of the town say they were told by their forefathers that the vessel was dropped from the sky with support of chains on a Friday afternoon in 1213. The caretaker of the vessel, Mr. Amos Ifa, said the vessel has some spiritual powers.
Salano. We are bopa at once one Munkum be bay. Did the Omuya say, you eba. Na ya a soso. Now near my way, Susum. Tea frisro, a baby see, baby a sea. Na a sea femno, when phone him say, a sewer and I baby. No, Mustreana. PJCDC Simpies. Nay, near my baby. It's soon to mean twa. And I know Mankra, our moony, bear 7 years, no echo. Or more course you, Nipanson be 7 times. Or more corner my pet than I since you to. And they cry, yeah, beba. A year, Juma. About 12-13. Say ye and moon nearby. A fiera area nearby. And near my way, baby, say, Carena and Conqueror, we as no. Crying young Conqueror, sense you be ma or moi, or no ma, non concornoco, woody jara cry. A ten chimney near ma. Yaribia, oh, nipa now the bar. Who get a problem bia now by now become was some children. Nananum de Segu from her. Be or maybe we are a bay empress. I decor National Museum in our cobalt a year until airport in our way. We are Manacobe 6 years. A 6 months. The large in the Kuhuni school being war. Not just a Mundia Kusiwa, Mansuya, a Tema Manaima. Mighty man found the kita power is found is one. Abrofo barbe free titina or moba. Nana a year or mabubu ano sano. Utim with the ultim soon. Tim feedy. A year in Chilo. In Chilene or Hosano. Obia timber.
After the tour of the untapped tourist sites, the Bono East Regional Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, GTA, Mr. Joseph Appiaje, called on investors to partner GTA to develop the sites.
My clarion call to all and sundry is, the potential here is huge. Therefore, we are inviting everybody to come on board, to partner GTA and the entire community. Once the Honorable Regional Minister has given us his support and his backing by assuring us that the road network, which is bad, he has already, or he has initiated working on the road. So I think we can invite investors to come on board to assist GTA and the community to put the place into a better place for tourists to visit. I think I'm enthused with what I've seen today, and moving forward, I'll communicate this to head office for them to take action.
The Bono East Regional Minister, Mr. Kwesi Adujan, said the region abounds in tourism sites that must be harnessed and well packaged to attract both domestic and international tourists. He said his outfit would take the initiative and seek the support of relevant agencies to put the tourist sites in the region in good shape.
It's a place that I think some value must be added for us to unearth the tourist potentials that exist in this area. We are made to understand that from Salaga, the slave market, they come over here. This is also one of the slave markets, as I'm told. So after they have gone through their negotiations and all that kind of stuff, they camp here for a while before they move to Bonomanso, and then en route to the castle. I'm even made to understand or to believe that the castles were built or fashioned after this, because looking at this and then looking at the castle, there seems to be no difference. The only difference is that this is not man-made, this is natural. So therefore, if we as a people put some investment in this area, we will not only be able, we will not only create size, but will add excitement. It will generate revenue, it will increase the gross domestic product, and also increase the standard of living of the people. Their roads are so bad, and even the road coming over here. So I think visiting here with the regional tourist director, we're going to have a discussion with the Minister for Tourism. I've already had some interactions with him, and he has promised us with some facilities, some funding. So follow that up and then discuss other areas of interest with him, because we think that this is one of the wonders that we have in the country. So we should preserve it for posterity. Already as part of the 5-year strategic plan that the Borno East region have drawn, tourism is one of the target areas. So we're going to have a full framework when it comes to tourism, tourist sites, okay, to see how best we can put them within that perspective.
Many say the tourism industry is potentially a gold mine for both the larger country and the local authorities, and must be properly harnessed. Samuel Ayama, GBC News, Kunsu.
Takes about 30 to 45 minutes before we arrive at school. Since there are no teachers, we have KG1 and 2, class 1 and 2 in this same class.
So many occasions when the rain starts like that, you can cross.
Sometimes we get here maybe in the middle of nowhere and you see them driving in a very reckless manner and you can't ask them to stop. Where will you drop?
What's the experience on the island?
Okay.
Where were you from before you came there? Okay, I came from the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise. I came for about 3 years now, and crossing the river to and fro it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but for now, it seems we are managing. It's okay now. It hasn't been easy, but with God, I think we are managing.
So for the first 1 month you came here, what were you expecting? Did you wanted to go back to Kumasi, or you just wanted to adapt to the situation?
Oh no, in fact it was something hurting. So I had wanted to leave, but since things were late, so I had to stay, and now I've been adjusted to the situation now. In my class, I have KG1 and 2, class 1 and 2 in my class.
So you are from the mainland, and that's
Yes.
one is
Adan.
Adan.
Yeah.
Which of the Adan? Is it the Adan?
Big Adan.
Big Adan.
Techunya, yeah.
So you cross this every
River,
day. So
yes.
how many minutes? Unfortunately, I didn't even check my time when we left from Panye, but roughly what time, how many minutes does it take you?
It depends. Sometimes people join us, so they have to be alighting. So sometimes it takes about 30 to 45 minutes before we arrive at school. Yes.
Anyways, an interesting one right here, but I would follow you to your classroom and see how you do your thing. The time you get to school, how you do your things in the classroom.
Okay.
So you class 1,
2, KG1 and 2.
So 4
Class, yeah.
It's a Friday morning, and I'm currently at the Tuane Kope Basic School. And when I got here, the place looked a bit, quiet, but I can see some students around. Class is not in session as at 9:28 my time, or my clock is saying. And we came with the teachers from the mainland, that's from Ada, Pompo Panya community. We actually came with them from the mainland to the island here. And my interaction with some of the teachers, they said sometimes when it rains, they have to take their time because the water becomes, it gets higher, so they have to wait a little while for the water to come down before they can cross. But I'll interact with some of the teachers and the students as well. Why as at 9:28 or 9:30 my time is saying they haven't started classes yet. Let's get interaction with some of the teachers to give us more highlights on this situation.
This class is for KG, but since there are no teachers, we have KG1 and 2, class 1 and 2 in this same class.
So 4 classes in one. So how do you manage them?
It's not easy. You have to be running through the curriculum. You have to go for KG1, quickly KG2, then like that. That is how we are doing it. And it's not been easy, but we are trying.
But it's 9:30, and if we go by the curriculum, classes start at 7:30. If my memory serves me right, why as of now, classes hasn't started?
It's because we normally move from the mainland, which is Adan, to this island, and we don't have our boats. Normally, we have to go in for the commercial ones before we come to school. So the person who carries us here to school, the person has to do some works before bringing us here. It makes us late. Normally on the market days, the students, they don't come to school because of the market days, because most of them go to the markets with their parents. That is how it is done here. Most of the kids, they go to the market with their parents. So on market days, the students, they don't come to school in their number.
Yeah. So what are some, apart from coming to school late, you have to wait for the commercial boat to ferry you on the water to school. What other peculiar issue do you have in the Tuane Kope Basic School?
Okay, for issues, we have so many issues because when it comes to the school, you look at our roof, you can see we have holes in the roofs. And so normally when it rains like this, mostly we don't come to school because when it's raining, we can't stay in the class. And also we lack teachers and let me say boats, but now we have our own boats. So I think that is that.
crossing the river from the mainland to the island is not easy, because sometimes you'll be on the river during rainy season and you encounter storm. So by the grace of God, we are able to be here safely. You will cross and nothing will happen to us. Our main motivation is the students. We want to help them to become better person in future. Yes, they are our main motivation, because if we said we will not come, who will be willing to come? So we just have to sacrifice and help them to become whom they want to become.
So has there been a situation where you're not able to come because of rain?
Oh yes, so many occasions. When the rain starts like that, you can't cross, because you will not know how, because the estuary is just here. So when you are coming during the rainy season and the wave start to, it can worry. So when it's rainy, we advise ourselves not to come. And when we are on the island like this and it's rain too, we don't cross. So it's just last week, we were here up to 6 getting to 7 before we are able to cross, because the rain, it was rainy and we can't cross during the rain. Yes.
For how long have you been doing this? For 4 years now. Yes. And it hasn't been easy, because from the onset, I felt, okay, it was kind of an adventure for me. I liked the idea of crossing the river, but when I started, actually the experience it's been okay, but not that good. You know, crossing it once in a while is okay, but when it becomes something you do daily, it becomes a risk. Yes.
So has there been a situation where you get up in the morning and you be like, oh God, am I going to do this again?
Oh yes, especially when it's cloudy or when it rains. You don't want to cross, because sometimes the rain comes with wind, and thinking, especially even when you are in school, when you're at home, you might end up staying at home. But when you're on the island and it rains or it's windy, we don't have teachers' bungalow. So you definitely have to cross. And there is no light, so you can't even do anything on the island. You definitely have to cross.
So which class do you teach?
Grade 3.
Grade 3. So for 4 years now. Are you a trained teacher?
Yeah, I'm a trained
teacher. So how did you feel when you heard or you had the news that you've been posted to the island?
As I said earlier, to me, from the beginning, I felt it was going to be cool. Some sort of adventure, because I had never crossed rivers. So I was thinking, oh, island. And I was thinking maybe, you see, island, so there'll be a lot of benefits, opportunities. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm in it. Because most teachers, when being posted, they'll do reposting. Because of some other reasons they don't come. But for me, I was like, okay, why not? Let me just try this island thing and see how it will go. But first year I was okay. Second year I'm like, So as we speak, if certain things are not put in place for teachers to have the comfortability, I'm sure I'll have to leave this place.
So going forward, what would you recommend that government to do for you?
I feel teachers bungalow one. Yes, because if we have a teachers bungalow, even if I'll cross, it will be once in a while, not every day. But since we don't have it, you are forced to be crossing. But if there is a teacher bungalow, I'll have to just stay. And then the only time I'll cross is maybe when I want to buy something, which wouldn't be every day. Yes, but since we don't have it, we are being forced to actually cross. Some of the teachers used to stay on the island. They were giving part of the nurses' bungalows, I think 3 rooms, and we are more than 3 teachers, so all of us can't stay in that room. So some of us were forced to rent in town. One thing about these commercial boats also is sometimes it overloads. I've got videos. It overloads. Sometimes the way they drive it, you see, I don't know who is responsible for checking, because I know with driving, you need to get a driver's license. But with the boats, if you get to the riverside, whoever that has a boat, you will have to join, and you don't know whether they are experienced or not. So sometimes we get here maybe in the middle of nowhere, and you see them driving in a very reckless manner, and you can't ask them to stop. Where will you drop? If it was road, I'll say, hey, driver, Messi, but this, no. It's also another challenge. So aside the teachers' bungalows, if we have a personal boat, like for teachers' boats, that we know that, okay, this driver driving it is an experienced driver, at least we will feel a bit safer than we joining the commercial one, overloading, reckless driving, and every day we have to be shouting, health-wise, it's not good for us because we get really scared.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born, our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
As cultural identity is unique and symbolic to countries and people around the world, so are symbols. This is to say that the value, uniqueness, and significance of the Adinkra symbols to Ghana's culture cannot be overemphasized. The tradition of Ghanaian Adinkra symbols is a fascinating aspect of the rich cultural tapestry of Ghana. These symbols, which are deeply embedded in the history and daily life of the Akan people, offer a unique glimpse into the values, beliefs, and philosophies that have shaped Ghana's culture for centuries. As part of the Heritage Month celebration, the documentary team visited the Ibri Craft Village to acquaint ourselves with the meanings and significance of some of the Adinkra symbols.
Heritage Month, na say, yana GTV4, na yashushe ni amebia efa yen Ghana ya mana na amamre tutu ye ni no na ye pese ye kabiribi kakra efa Adinkra symbols ho efi baabi nanso akanfo ya na ye German asese wa friend Cote d'Ivoire memu ana efi abedu oman Ghana mu ane ye da sukura mu tetemre no na ye aduasia anan ana 64 nanso mre ekonani mu no eye adesuafo enso ayebi abeka ho masese ebro ha na is more than 100 symbol we ofreno nyamene hene ana chere se ahemfo bebre e wo wiase nanso ye wo onyame bi a ponka ne din ho awofre ni nyankopon ono ne ohena odimu pa nia etoso abien ofreno odo and refugee kwan. Love never loses its way home. And also, a dinkra symbol a chere odwa obi ewo ema obi. We ni dinyame. Ghana yan symbols ni nyina no wiase nyina obi enim jedin ase chere say except God. We ahemfo na wotai ede dijuma na say wotade siesie wo ho ene baabi a anasa ahemfie pa eno ntema ekọ akiri oje di say wo wotumi wo bambo nanso nyankopon ewo se niama no nyina so tumi esen wo symbol we eye painting ni nti wo nhye da hu ni papa idin de funtum reku danchem reku fantefo ne se funtum funefu danchem funefu eye adanchem abien a won yefunu bom ase kire de se wo ya aka so won yefunu bom ano e kire se ubetuma beto won a wo kontokwawo nanso they are together.
The story of Adinkra symbols is said to have begun in the early 19th century with the Ashanti people, a prominent ethnic group within the Akan community. According to oral tradition, the use of Adinkra symbols can be traced back to a conflict between Asantemain and the Jamain people, who lived in what is now modern-day Côte d'Ivoire. The Jamain king, Nana Kwadwo Agyeman Adinkra, was defeated by the Ashantis, and it is said that the Ashantis adopted the symbols from the Jamain people as a form of tribute to their fallen king. So, this move led to the Ashanti people adopting the Adinkra symbols.
Yaka Adinkra Ashansode and as Adinkra symbols. A year Ashansudibia Yenanum now what they communicate and as what did the Inkitaho. Na Eshase Ache in the 17th century and Eshase what Shase say we use Adinkra symbols at the Adinkitaho. Inti Kanuna Obroni alphabets ABC the Abede na eniho. Nanso Yananum Ewo Okwanga no faso na wotumi communicate with each other. And inti yake Adinkra symbol in general no ashenso dia na wogina so e communicate na say what to nkra ama afoforo. Eshase in the 17th century na opahene bi na binum nipa bebre esusu say eye Kofi Adinkra the din Kofi Adinkra ono na odi Adinkra symbol ebaye nanso abakwasem ekire yen se na Adinkra no ewo ho ayedi djuma ansa na Kofi Adinkra ebaye na ono no yobi a na oye otonfo osan ye ohene ewo bia bia France German na German no ye akanfo ebra wo migrate free North Africa na se Mali Songa Empire wo mo ba no omu descend by no yemu chiche bonofo efa baabi akuapemfo fa baabi asantefo fa baabi na Germanfo nso efa baabi na Kofi Adinkra no ayobi a no fi German memu ana se state ye France German ewo no ahafo hono na oyo ohene no sanye otonfo ntino na ode Adinkra no edijuma bebre ewo na anwune ana se ne eniama ye bebre mu eniti santehene sabre no santehene na owoso no Kofi Adinkra ekofa golden stool no na o replicate ana se oye no fufuro na golden stool no se adibia santefumu no ana se asante amamre mu no enya de a wodi dia agore kura won fan dia agore eninti Kofi Adinkra no duplicate ana se oye ne seso sɛ ɔno nso ɔde bɛdi ne dwuma na Asantehene Bufuwi ne Bufuwi no ɔsoman ma ɔkɔfa a Kofi Adinkra ɛbae na ɛbɛyɛ ɔko kɛse ɛda Asante ɛne German states no ɛntɛm na nea ɛkɔbaeɛ no sɛ Kofi Adinkra no abakɔsɛm no bi kyerɛ sɛ Asantehene ɛma wɔyi ne fi hɔ na Asantehene ɛma ɛyɛ Adinkra symbol na Kofi Adinkra de dwuma anaasɛ sɛdeɛ ɔde di ne dwuma fa no ɔma ne nkurɔfo ɛfa bi wɔ mu na ɔkyerɛ wɔn sɛdeɛ wɔde Adinkra no ɛbɛdi dwuma na mfaso aba so ama Asanteman ɛno nti ɛka Adinkra history a ɛnyɛ Kofi Adinkra ankasa na ɔde Adinkra symbols no ɛbaeɛ na mmom Adinkra symbols no wɔ hɔ dedaw ansa na Kofi Adinkra ɛba na ɔno de ɔbɛsakra mu ɔde bɛdi dwuma bi sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ne trade anaasɛ ne tomfo adwuma a na ɔyɛ no watumi ayɛ na wayɛ ne yɛ.
It is evident that the Adinkra symbols are more than just decorative motifs. They are visual representations of complex ideas and concepts. Each symbol carries a specific meaning, often derived from proverbs, historical events, human behavior, or elements of the natural world. For instance, the symbol Jinyami, which translates to "except God," signifies the omnipotence and omnipresence of a higher power. Another well-known symbol, Sankofa, meaning "go back and get it," emphasizes the importance of learning from the past to build a better future. The Dinkrahini symbol, which stands for leadership and charisma, is another key element in the Dinkra lexicon. Often represented by a series of concentric circles, a Dinkrahini signifies the qualities of a good leader, someone who is not only influential, but also compassionate and wise. This symbol is frequently used in contexts related to governance and community leadership, serving as a benchmark for those in positions of authority. Transitioning to symbols that emphasize social values, Fahundie stands out. Fahundie means independence or freedom. It is a symbol of emancipation and self-reliance, and reflects the Akan people's historical struggles for freedom and their enduring spirit of independence. Fahundie is often used in political and social movements, resonating with those who advocate for human rights and justice.
The Adinkra symbols put together are so significant socially and politically for a country such as Ghana. First and foremost, we learn from history that it was during one war between the Ashantis and the German people that the Ashantis discovered the king of German, Nana Adinkra, wearing a type of cloth which contained those symbols. The Ashantis brought the cloth to their palace and then they multiplied it, duplicated it many times, and today the symbols have become almost identified with the country called Ghana. Now, seriously learning the symbols, you will see that they represent everyday life, like unity, conflict resolution, the greatness of God, His omnipotence, love, and so many other things, power, all this show or point to the fact that our ancestors, led by the Bono people, and indeed the Akans developed from the Bonos, developed that system as a form of writing, just as ancient Egyptians also had hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics was able to develop to its optimum simply because the Egyptian civilization thrived for thousands of years. In the case of Ghana, and for that matter, Africa, we had that unfortunate situation whereby for a period of 350 years, Europe took many young people between the ages of 13 and 28 to the Americas. So it meant that the elderly people who were the repository of the knowledge had nobody to transmit the wisdom or the civilization to. As a result of this break, Adinkra could not develop to the level of being broken down into alphabets. Luckily, we have been able to maintain them as they are, and we have to preserve them as a way of telling Europe and the rest of the world that Africa was already civilized before they came here. Another significant thing about Adinkra is the fact that today, from the north to the south, Adinkra has become a national symbol. So it gives us a single identity. Imagining something emanating from the Bono people, now idolized by Ewes, idolized by Northerners, Ashantis, and Zima people, Ahantes, Seshis, everybody. So I believe that it is good. It brings us together as one people with a common destiny. And then lastly, I would say that it gives us an opportunity to speak by way of oral tradition without the need to explain so many things. So, for example, if you see the very common one among them, the Jinyame symbol, you don't need a book as big as the Bible to tell you that the Ghanaian knew God before the advent of the white man. And if you see the one with the symbol of a bird with the beak looking backwards, just to tell you that if you forget initially and you remember going back to it, it's not a taboo. So you wouldn't need a big book to say that, just a form of pictorial representation, then the African story is told. This is wonderful, it's perfect. All in all, President Mahama had a message for Ghana and the rest of the world. It's a way of speaking to the whole nation that he is an African president, and the symbols in it, one of them showing Ojai Mbembe, symbolizing humility and strength at the same time. And then the Sankofa one, the final Sankofa, Yenchi, meaning that for himself, whatever he did, that Ghanaians felt good, and for that matter, had made them to vote for him, he will go back to it. At the same time, it has a meaning that whatever he did, which was not good, he will be ready to go and do the good ones.
In addition to these, the Duefie symbol represents beauty and cleanliness. It holds a special place in the Ghanaian culture. Shaped like a wooden comb, Duefie underscores the importance of personal grooming and aesthetics. However, its meaning goes beyond physical appearance to signify the virtues of good character and inner beauty. This symbol is commonly found in context related to personal care and well-being. Moreover, the Nyaminte symbol, meaning God's grace, highlights the Akan people's reliance on divine providence. It serves as a reminder that all achievements and successes are ultimately due to God's grace. This symbol is often used in expressions of gratitude and thanksgiving, reinforcing the community's spiritual connection. As we explore these symbols, it becomes evident that Adinkra is not just an art form, but a profound means of communication. Each symbol encapsulates a piece of wisdom or a moral lesson, making them integral to the cultural identity of the Akan people. They are used in various aspects of daily life, from clothing and textiles to architecture and pottery, serving as constant reminders of the values and principles that guide the community. These symbols served as a form of nonverbal communication, conveying wisdom and moral lessons that have been passed down from generations. The use of Adinkra symbols extends beyond their historical and philosophical significance. Traditionally, they were used in the creation of the Adinkra cloth, a hand-printed fabric worn during important ceremonies and rituals, such as funerals and festivals. The process of making the Adinkra cloth involves stamping the symbols on the fabric using carved calabash stamps and a special dye made from the bark of the badi tree. This labor-intensive process not only showcases the artistic skills of the craftsmen, but also underscores the cultural importance of the symbols themselves.
What makes Adinkra very powerful is, one, it helps you transcend space. This means that if I have this written down, I can send this Sankofa 1,000 miles all the way across the continent, and someone who knows how to read it, they will see it and they will understand. So Sankofa Yenchi. So I've transcended space. I'm still here, but my thoughts, my ideas, my message has transcended space. They also help us transcend time. This means that something that someone has carved 200 years ago, that was their idea. They carved it in that way. And now me, I'm just being born. I'm coming to learn. And then I see it. This means that their ideas, all of the things that they encoded for me, I can now decode that, I can unravel it, and I can understand this, and it can have an impact on my life right now. And it also it helps you transcend matter. So my physical body is going to go back to the earth. It will become part of Asasiya at some point. But even after that, my ideas, right? This is the idea that you can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea. My ideas, if I've encoded them through the Adinkra, then my ideas can transcend the matter. So our writing systems, specifically Adinkra, they help us to transcend space, they help us to transcend time, and they help us to transcend matter. And that's why our languages, our writing systems, and Adinkra, that's why it matters.
In contemporary Ghana, Adinkra symbols have transcended their traditional uses and can be found in various aspects of daily life. They are commonly seen in architecture, jewelry, pottery, and even corporate logos. This widespread adoption of the Adinkra symbols speaks to their enduring relevance and adaptability in a rapidly changing world. Moreover, they have become a source of national pride, symbolizing the resilience and creativity of the Ghanaian people. Some artisans and craftsmen at the Ibri Crafts Village expressed concern about low patronage and urged the general public to patronize made-in-Ghana wares to boost local businesses.
Crafts. Obaha, sisegwa, tontaje, emia bibrewa ha, mia yebaha chekakra. Mere juma, mere never started na mia so ababeka ho. Mia no juma no. Ejuma eboa yen ye de hwe ye ma ye bibia wo meno na ye dibi ye bibia ejuma eboa yen ejuma eboa yen ye ndin akwa akiri na mom de wo mu ne say nyama kakra ho challenges kakra wo ho na ye besre say government betimi aboa yen ana say impo NGOs bia because first na ejuma na ekoso pa nnua ti say bia nnua akesisei enyuma na kese no oba no obeta wotime de kọ abrochi ba sese no akwai say oba no obeta wo so wontime nkọ wo du airport duty ene ne yekeka ho ni nti na ma wontime fa nkọ nti ama ejuma na kọfom nti ye besre so we government betime ya hu bibia ma yen anka ebeboa yen because eno a na ye de bibia e wo ha ye ndi nsu akọ akiri na ne ameka ne say ye wo Ghana manti mu yi misre Ghana fo first na ejuma na brofo nkora na eto ba sese ye Ghana nyama bebre wo ha nti obia omra Ibri Craft Village no me patronize ye woni ahene a ye digu yensa ebi na mikrai atade ni nyina ye wo ha emi atade merema atade nyama bebre wo ho mpo nyama betimi de asiesie fie obetimi de asiesie dan mu e wo ho a obetimi ato nti me stress obia amra obi atwam a omra no me tobi na emo ayen
bosumi a ye wo mu ye bosumi a ye kai nea eye Ghana fo yankasa ya mamre ene nea ye de yensa aye a edem fasode ebre yen na ama ye ma ne ye mama nso ababenya mu faso yen Ibri Craft Village ha oba ha ye wo enioma ahoro bebre aye de yensa ana aye a edem faso bebre abre Ghana man ene ye oman ahoro bebre atwa ye ho ahia yen adwuma aye no esan say yen sa no dwumanti ama obiara wa ha nimbribi ye emia e wa ha eye bribi emerema eye bribi nampo emfaso a efiri mu ba no enye yen aye wa ha nko ana ye nyamu mfaso ansa na yɛn adwuma no yɛbɛhyɛ ase na ebedi mu no enipa bebree enso de wo ho hyem ansa na yɛn adwuma no adi mu yansa na yɛbɛkɔ even yɛn adwuma yɛbɛhyɛ ase ayɛ yɛn adwuma no yɛkɔ bush ansa na yɛkɔ no operators wom drivers wom ansa na adwuma no dua no ba bedu ha yɛbɛhyɛ ase se yɛde yɛ adwuma no ɛyɛ ɔkwan ahoro bebree na yɛfa so nti yɛ ne nipa ahoro bebree na ɛyɛ yɛn adwuma wei ɛyɛ yɛn ankasa yɛn deɛ ɛnyi yɛn kɔtɔ mfi baabi na yɛn kɔyɛ mfi baabi ɛyɛ yɛn a ne yɛayɛ ɛne nti bosumi ɛyɛ yɛn anigye sɛ yɛtwe yɛn adwene gyina so sɛ yɛn ankasa yɛn bosumi nea ɛyɛ yɛn deɛ yɛn hwehwɛ akyiri kwan nea yɛn agya wato yɛ akyiri yɛn kɔnkɔfa nea ɛyɛ yɛn ankasa yɛn amammerɛ yɛn sankɔfa emra nea ɛyɛ yɛn ankasa yɛn sa no ade yɛn ma yɛn mo ho ban na yɛn ma ɛnsɔ yɛn ani anase yɛn ani nye ho yɛwɔ nneɛma a sɛ wudu Aburikra village ha sɛ wopɛ sɛ wobɛtɔ de atu kwan a wobɛnya wopɛ sɛ wobɛtɔ de asiesie ofie a wobɛnya wopɛ sɛ wode bɔ wankasa wodan mu a wobɛnya nneɛma ahoro bebree ana ɛwɔ ha no ma yɛhwɛ kwan sɛ Ghanafoɔ yɛbɛma yɛn ankasa yɛn ani agye yɛn nneɛma ho efimra yɛhyɛ adwumadie ase no yɛhu sɛ ayɛ mfasodeɛ pii ama emrante ne maba bebree ma enipa bi a wofi baabi efifi miae ekɔtena baabi na wɔkɔpɛ adwuma no yɛn ha de adwuma no wofi baabi momba na yɛgye wɔn de wɔn tena ase ama ayɛ mfasodeɛ ama yɛn wɔ ha bebree ɛne nti sɛ wopɛ dua ho ade a ɛkyerɛ amammerɛ wopɛ dua ho ade a ɛkyerɛ amammerɛ ase ankasa oba Aburikra village ha ubenya ebi ye nea ahemfo nneoma ebi ye yɛn ankasa nso a yɛn nya ahemfo mpo yɛpɛ sɛ yɛde siesie yɛn dɛm yɛn adeɛ bia a yɛyɛ nso wɔ asekyerɛ nneoma bi a yɛyɛ no ɛwɔ meaning ɛwɔ biribi a ɛkyerɛ nti sɛ wopɛ biribi a ɛkyerɛ wopɛ biribi a nkyerɛ ase ɛwɔ mu a ɛne na yɛka ne sɛ bra Aburikra village na yɛ amammerɛ ho hia yɛn ankasa yɛn deɛ ho hia bra beto biribi nea wode besiesie wo ho wawo siesie eno na obi hia wa obehu sɛ ampa wo yɛ akani wo yɛ Ghana ni na wo yɛ akani ampa wawo siesie wo ba yɛ wontare ahoro a yɛn ankasa na yɛde yɛn sa yɛ wo ba yɛ wɔn a wɔpam ɛwɔ ha wo ba wɔn a wɔn ankasa wo sen nnua no yɛ wɔ ha bibia yɛhia na yɛde aka yɛn amammerɛ no ba Aburikra village ha ebi wɔ ha enti bosumi yeto nsafro bia se omra na omra ne yenyina nka mom na yemeto ne a eye yankasa yendia efise yehia se yenuoma yen ayaye no ye mfaso de ma yen no bia nso nyamu mfaso yenuoma bonyeden oba ne a openi bia wonsa beka yeto nsafro bia se momra na yefie ene ne fie.
The cultural significance and ritual uses of Adinkra symbols in the Ghanaian society are vast and varied. These symbols are not just artistic expressions, but are deeply embedded in the social and spiritual life of the people. They serve as tools for communication, education, and cultural preservation. Whether used in rituals, everyday objects, or modern art,
I believe there is a little more to do. We've got the Institute of African Studies at the University of Ghana. The question is that, having seen and identified the Adinkra symbols as bequeathed to us by our forefathers, so many years after University of Ghana was built in 1948, what has this institute done about Adinkra? I believe that by now they would have studied it and then added more to it, to expand it to become a language of its own. So it is just good for us to retain it, but at the same time, it is not good for us that to date we have not been able to expand it. We should be able to expand it. It is not too late for us to develop it more so that it becomes an alphabet of a sort for the people of Ghana to be transmitted to other parts of the world.
Adinkra symbols remain a powerful testament to the rich heritage and enduring wisdom of the Ghanaian people. Through their continued use and adaptation, these symbols ensure that the values and traditions of the past remain alive and relevant in today's world.
Madam, scabe na dia mami. Scabe me obebre wa ha o. Me obebre wa ha. Me to ade bebre me de gu mo nje. Madam pacho ji usi.
Ghana si.
Ji usi ka scabe wa mo nje.
Madam, Ghana ska.
Wo de mameti fo kwa yese nje piota fo kwa so.
This is not an isolated case, but a daily occurrence in Ghana. The scenario cuts across all daily transactions, from commercial drivers to shop owners. The rejection, which is a silent dismissal of Ghana's lower currency in coins, is the symptom of a quiet economic rot. The 5 pesewa coin, the 1 pesewa relic, and even the 10 pesewa piece are not just ignored, they are devalued by social consensus, creating an epidemic of forced rounding up that cost both entrepreneurs like Amma and consumers like this young lady thousands of cedis a year without them knowing. When every trader is expected to round up because the coins are rejected, the cumulative impact is brutal. Putting this in perspective, the 5 pesewas lost on every sale of a 50 pesewa item is a 10% tax on the profit margin. GBC News spoke to a section of Ghanaians on why they reject the lower denominational coins.
And no, if you toilet crowd, it's 20%, 20%. They said that film class will be far. Any 10% no be ampe. Hey, I know the omumpe.
So the tadia obi anje obi kura to me bisa say adan wona wodi ade no so amiana ebi kura aka mu wode ma ya nje
obi mate no sisa no onipa kwenti me nchen hu no sisa no kwansi no wo say me pay kwansi na I want to 10 pesos no was one pay.
This is Sewa Mensah. She has over the years saved her change from various transactions, which is normally in the lower denomination coins, in her savings box. However, according to her, the 1, 5, 10 and even 20 pesewa coins are of no use to her now, as they are being rejected on a daily basis. This deflates her zeal to even save further and also hinders the promotion of a savings culture amongst Ghanaians in the country. The public's refusal to accept lower denominational coins is a practical protest against their perceived loss of value, a direct result of persistent inflation. In an interview with GBC News, the Director of Currency at the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Dominic Owusu, noted that this practice is effectively an invisible regressive sales tax paid disproportionately by the poor.
The 1 pesewa coin, the 5 pesewa coins, the 10 pesewas, 20, 50 pesewas, 100 pesewa coin, that is the 1 Ghana cedi coin, and the 2 Ghana cedi coin, for that matter 200 pesewas, they are all legal tender. Refusal to accept these coins is an offense, and you could be imprisoned for not less than 3 years. That is in the Currency Act 1964. We cannot use, you cannot go and use 200 cedis to purchase something that is 50 pesewas. So these coins are there for a purpose. And also these coins stay, because of the kind of transactions you use them for, 1 coin can stay in circulation for 15 years. So when the public will use the coins, it saves the central bank a lot of money. The paper banknotes gets worn out quite quickly. So the coins, there's a reason.
As the coins suffer from rejection, the paper notes, the cedi, suffers from destruction. Walk into any busy commercial hub and observe the currency being exchanged. The notes are crumpled into tight, sweaty balls, heavily creased, stitched with sellotape, and often saturated with the smell of the day's work. They are treated not as a symbol of national wealth, but as disposable receipts. Even in our places of worship, the cedi suffers from suffocation as they are squeezed before offered to God. This poor handling is more than just an aesthetic issue. It carries immense logistical and economic cost. Mr. Dominic Owusu indicated that the mishandling of the cedi notes forces the BOG into a vicious cycle of replacement, imposing a colossal and avoidable dead weight cost on the economy.
If you enter any country, the quality of notes you see when you are getting in tells a lot about the quality of life in that country. So it is very, very important that we respect the cedi, appreciate that the cedi is a symbol of our national identity, and for that matter we must preserve it and keep it clean. The banknotes are made of pure cotton. It is pure cotton like the dress, just that the way the cotton is treated is different from the way the dress is, is produced. So it is 100% cotton. It takes not less than 6 to 1 year to produce banknotes. So can you imagine that with all the efforts that is taken to produce these substances, which is meant for economic transaction, you abuse them?
Health-wise, notes that are heavily soiled and contaminated also pose a public health risk. GBC News spoke to Dr. Abna Bimpe, who said the heavily destroyed and soiled notes serve as a haven for microbes, a hidden danger in a cash-dominated economy.
Now, dirty money in this context refers to money that is dirty, literally, or money that has been contaminated with blood, with chemicals, other substances in the microorganisms. Microorganisms, as the name suggests, are so minute that they cannot be seen with the naked eye except under a microscope. These microorganisms include bacteria, viruses, and then parasites. So examples of bacteria, we can have Salmonella, which causes typhoid. We are all aware of typhoid. And then we have viruses like the common cold virus. And then we have intestinal worms. All these can attach themselves to dirty money. So when we touch money and we don't wash our hands, we become at risk of getting infections from all these organisms.
Imagine a market where change is always exact, where notes are crisp and clean, reflecting the vibrancy of the economy they represent. For Ghana to move towards a more precise, efficient, and technologically integrated economy, we all must start with the smallest act of discipline, accepting every Peswa coin and handling every cedi note with care. Until Ghanaians accept the full measure of their own currency, the forgotten coins and the tattered cedi will continue to be a costly economic anchor. For GBC News, Esther Edu reporting.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the cedi was born, our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the cedi has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the cedi lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
So it's all about the 2025 PANAFEST and Emancipation Day celebration here in the Upper East region. We are privileged this year again to observe this particular event. Last year, it was very interesting. It was a memorable one, an event that showcased the history and that also brought the people of the Upper East region together to a common point for them to learn more about what happened in the past, especially around the Pikoro slave camp. And so we want to bring to speed happenings or preparations towards this year's event that will be taking place this weekend. I would want to engage the regional director of the Ghana Tourism Authority in the person of Mr. Wisdom Ahadje.
Yes, thank you very much, Peter, for the privilege and opportunity to learn more about PANAFEST and Emancipation. Yeah, so PANAFEST, for the understanding, is biannual. So PANAFEST is normally celebrated after every 2 years. So what we witnessed last year was just Emancipation. So what it means is that Emancipation is celebrated every year. So after 2 years, PANAFEST come to join. Then that is when we call it PANAFEST and Emancipation celebration. And PANAFEST is simple, celebrating our culture. It's Pan-African Historical Festival, which celebrated to showcase our culture, history, and the unity to the globe, especially the people of African descent. That's people of the diaspora. So this year we are celebrating PANAFEST and Emancipation. And Emancipation is briefly the abolishment of the slave trade, as you introduced. In the past several years, the transatlantic slave trade took place, and Upper East region has also been involved largely because a lot of people were moved away from here. I can tell you for a fact that there are houses here now that you go and see the impact of the activity in those days.
So there are houses in the region.
Yes, yes. I can mention Apoka, the woman called Apoka at Bukere, who acted like more or less like a Yaya Santiwa, who also scared the slave raiders away. The story is that, to summarize, she was in her home with a baby at the back pounding, whatever, and then the slave raider appeared to signal her to come along. Craftily, she gave the baby to the slave raider as a sign of giving up, so to follow the slave raider. So slave raider, in an attempt to put the baby down to go with the mother, then she used a pistol to hit the slave raider. That is terminating the slave raider's life completely. But when the rest got to know later that one of their own is dead in the community, it sent us the fear, and that's also a contributing factor where the slave raiders left the region. And when we are talking about another one is Bonaba, the paramount chief of Bongo Traditional Authorities, is a descendant of a returnee who has been captured and brought back, and then as a result marry and give birth. And then Bonaba is a descendant, is a grandson of another returnee. So these are the evidence that we are talking about that's happening in the region. The theme is, let us speak of reparative justice, Pan-African artistic activism.
What does that mean?
Yes, what it simple means is that, yes, we suffer so much. Our people have moved from this place forcefully, though, sent away where they went to work, develop those countries. So the conversation is that the time has come, since they have used their strength, everything to help other countries to develop the Western world, then the time has come for them to compensate us for losing such a human resource to them that developed them, and as we are still developing. So that is a reparative justice, the conversation that is ongoing.
So I was coming to how did the slave trade affect the people of Upper East region, especially those who were involved?
Yes, what it means is that, you know, those activities, they were looking for the strongest people. So if your strongest people who's supposed to tear the land, who's supposed to do whatever, to develop the place are taken away. That is the effect we are talking about.
Right. So this particular celebration is taking place at Nania community at the slave camp. Tell us more about the camp. I mean, how?
Yeah. So the camp. Yeah, the camp is a Picoro slave camp. Basically, Picoro slave camp has been where when the slave raiders go around, capture the people or whatever form, they kept them just like an animal. In today's terminology, maybe you can say it's a warehouse where people are kept, and then when they have a sizable number that they want, then they move them all the way by foot to Salaga, and then all the way to, we have Salaga Market, then they move all the way to Central Region, thereabout, before they embark on a journey of no return.
But that's what we say those days. It's rocky.
Yeah, so
how do they keep them?
Yes, so I know you'll be there. So when you are there, it's a natural environment, and it serves as it was more or less like a reserve area. So the slave raiders felt comfortable there because they can position themselves well to defend the community who wanted to resist or fight them to retrieve their people. So it's a camp. I don't know when you were there, but it's a camp that we are developing. For us, that is more or less like our castle that has to be developed to be able to tell this story properly, to be able to educate our kinsmen and the people of Upper East Region.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.
So the Upper East Regional Director of GTA, he has just told us how prepared they are for the event tomorrow. In fact, they are on their way going to the site, and so he's being accompanied by Joseph Azika, who wants to equally just tell us a little about the itinerary for the event, and then what we expect. And so let me get to Joseph. Thank you very much for joining us, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want you in a minute to tell us the itinerary for tomorrow.
Yes, Upper East, as the director indicated, we are ready for the Pana Fest and Emancipation Day celebration. And for today, which is the 18th of July 2025, is the Vigil Night. But before we start with the Vigil Night, they will have a float or street carnival from Navrongo to Paga to Slave Camp. From there, we'll continue with the Vigil Night, which is going to be in the evening around 6 p.m. After the Deba, we'll have a reef laying at the cemetery. After the reef laying, there will be opportunity for people to taste the food, the assorted food that we have, the indigenous delicacies or what foods that we have in Upper East.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. And let me quickly speak to Elvis Sogwe. He is also with the team, and then he may have something small to share with us. Elvis, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter.
For us, how important is this day for you?
Yes, mostly it has been, Director has spoken.
You come out from the wall.
Thank you very much. Yes, Director has spoken much about the importance of this festival.
Yeah.
Let me quickly take you through the people we'll be expecting tomorrow. We'll be having the regional minister who will be in attendance. He will be giving us the keynote address, the paramouncies that have been mentioned earlier. As you might know, we have 18 paramounts.
Construction of phase 1 of a 2,000-unit military barracks project to begin as President Mahama hands over fleets of vehicles to the Ghana Armed Forces. Bon irrigation scheme rehabilitation project nears 75% completion, facility to boost food security and rice production. Police arrest 100 suspects over Akuti Health Center attack in the Central Region. AMA and other sister assemblies announced joint decongestion exercise from February 1, 2026. Also in this package, reviving Ghana's railways could ease urban transport crisis. African Union reinstates Guinea following restoration of constitutional order. Evening and welcome to News Hour at 7. We are live on GTV and GBC News. My name is Clara Mlano. Now the details. President John Mahama has cut the sword for the construction of phase 1 of a 2,000-unit military barracks project aimed at improving living conditions for officers and men of the Ghana Armed Forces. Speaking at the sword-cutting ceremony during the West African Soldiers Social Activities WASA 2025 in Accra, the president said the project forms part of broader government efforts to enhance personal welfare while strengthening the operational readiness of the military. We bring you that story as the news progresses. Now, 52 newly appointed circuit court judges have been sworn into office. The Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni, who took them through the oath of office, advised them not to abuse their positions as judicial officers, a conduct that could destroy the public trust in the judicial system.
The new judges are made up of 40 magistrates who have been elevated to the circuit court and 12 lawyers appointed from the bar.
Protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God.
40 of the newly sworn-in judges are women and 12 men. The promotion and appointment comes following series of interviews by the judiciary. At the ceremony, the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafoboni, advised the new lower court judges to perform their duties with integrity, competence, and independence.
Avoid situations that compromise your impartiality or create perceptions of impropriety. Remember that public trust in the judiciary is fragile. It is built over time, but can be lost in a moment.
Justice Bafoboni also spoke about the need to keep abreast of latest information technology, which would help them discharge their duties efficiently and effectively. The Chief Justice emphasized that visual power of a judge is not self-derived, but one that is delegated by the people through the Constitution, which must be exercised judiciously and strictly in accordance with the law. Other speakers at the ceremony, including President of the Ghana Bar Association, Efua Gatti, mentioned the need to protect the sanctity of the judiciary by serving with integrity and professionalism. The 52 new judges adds to the 101 number of circuit judges currently serving the various circuit courts across the country.
The Minister for the Interior, Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, has cautioned individuals who use cyberspace to defraud unsuspecting victims to desist from these acts, else they will face the full rigors of the law. He made the remarks during a visit to the prison's Ball-style recruitment screening center at Roman Ridge in Accra.
Upon arrival, the Minister for the Interior was received by the service commanders and other senior officers of the Ghana Prison Service. Alhaji Muntaka inspected the ongoing recruitment exercise, which was at the stage of body selection and documentation. Impressed by the level of organization and professionalism displayed, he commended the service commanders and staff for maintaining high standards in the recruitment process. He noted that the exercise reflected the service's dedication to upholding integrity and discipline in its operations.
For those who think that they can use the cyberspace to create this chaos and deceive innocent applicants, they should be rest assured. We are watching. We are using the PID, we are using the CID, we are using the NIB, we are using the National Signal Bureau. We are putting all apparatus in full gear. We are monitoring the social media. The least we'll see, we'll pick. And the first batch that tried it, we've arrested them. That's why I was cautioning them. If anybody thinks that he can use this system to enrich himself or herself, they should think again. Because every payment is through that system. The system that will pay for the centralized system.
Officials of the prison service walked the media through the various stages of the screening process.
So far, the program is so good. We haven't had any challenge. Applicants come because you know when you are coming. Some are coming in the afternoon, some are coming in the morning. It is straight in your text message. You are given a seat to be seated comfortably. You are served with snacks, water, biscuits, and mineral. And then the officers take them through. First, body selection. You take your height, they look at your vitals. You move to documentation. They look at your document and authenticate each document. When they are satisfied, you move to the data entry where everything is entered into the computer, and that's the end, and you move away.
The screening center accommodates a maximum of 400 applicants per day, divided into 2 sessions, morning and afternoon, to ensure smooth and efficient processing. The recruitment exercise, which has been ongoing for days, concluded on January 21, 2026.
Pressure group Arise Ghana on day 5 of picketing has presented a petition to officials of the United States Embassy in Accra calling for assistance in extraditing former Finance Minister Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta to answer questions over his stewardship of the economy between 2017 and 2024. The group, led by its convener, Mr. Bernard Mona, cited the long-standing diplomatic and bilateral relations between Ghana and the United States, arguing that cooperation on the matter would strengthen accountability and good governance. GBC News' Daryl Alantego was at the U.S. Embassy and has filed this report.
The civil society organization said the petition is part of its ongoing commitment to promoting accountability and upholding the rule of law, emphasizing that no public official should be above it. The submission comes on the 4th day of the Arise Ghana demonstrations at the U.S. Embassy, marking the final day of the first phase of the picketing. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines, the conveners appealed to the U.S. authorities to cooperate with Ghanaian officials in repatriating Mr. Ofori-Atta. Arise Ghana reiterated that the petition is not politically motivated, but a demand for transparency and justice, reflecting widespread public concern over the former minister's alleged actions.
Should there be no progress after this period, we reserve the right to resume the picketing until Mr. Ken Nanayaw Ofori-Atta is made available to the Ghanaian authorities, consistent with established precedents of cooperation between our two governments in facilitating the return of Ghanaian citizens to face lawful processes when requested by the United States.
Delegates of the New Patriotic Party have been urged to prioritize unity as the party prepares for its presidential primaries to select a flag bearer ahead of the 2028 general elections. Spokesperson for Dr. Bryony Champon, Mr. Pius Enam Hajide, speaking in an interview with GBC News earlier, said The party requires a strategic leader capable of unifying its ranks to foster eternal cohesion.
There is some considerable amount of tension, and it is our considered view that this does not make for party unity and party discipline, and that we needed a candidate who was in the center, a candidate who does not have any challenges with any other of the candidates. And Dr. Bernard Acheampong represents that candidate, that rallying point in the party that can attract all hands on deck towards victory in 2028. Again, Dr. Bernard Acheampong talks about the need to restore discipline into our party. Some of the narrative on social media, on radio and TV, is quite unbecoming of the NPP that we knew, NPP of old. And Dr. Bernard Acheampong is promising to restore discipline and unity within our rank and file. We have been doing our own polling. We have looked at the numbers. We have gone beyond polling and done profiling. And by profiling, I mean that when you speak to the delegates and when the delegates speak amongst themselves, they are able to give you a clearer picture because they speak among themselves. And if you went to my polling station, Santa Barbara polling station in Akosombo today, and spoke to my youth organizer, he will most likely tell you where the chairman of the polling station will vote, where the organizer or secretary will vote. That's how deep our work has gone. And we are sure, we have the evidence, we see it, we hear it from the people that we are expecting a landslide for Dr. Bernard Acheampong on the 31st of January.
Accra is gearing up for a fresh start. Greater Accra Regional Minister, Madam Linda Oklu, has teamed up with MMDCs to launch a major decongestion drive. From February 1, 2026, the capital will see a determined push to restore order and boost sanitation. The team says it's time for a cleaner and more organized Accra.
It was at a news conference in Accra, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Madam Linda Oklu, shared the plan to reclaim the city's streets. After months of dialogue with traders and transport operators, the wait is over. February 1, 2026 marks the start of a major decongestion drive. The goal is to give pedestrians and motorists their space back, cut congestion, and make Accra cleaner.
Not only for AME, Korle Klottey is part, and other districts is also part. This time around, Christmas is over, and I believe whatever they bought has been sold. They are not going to use any human face. We'll make sure that they strictly adhere to their red lines, that's all.
Behind the scenes, preparations are underway. AMA Chief Executive, Mr. Michael Kpakpo Alote, spells it out. The city is getting ready to breathe a little easier. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly is teaming up with security and stakeholders to make sure the